Three strong men from the East rise from the ashes of censorship and cancel culture.
The Chinese brought these drones that look like birds to the United States so they can spy on us. Birds aren't real. Changed my mind.
If you start looking at the trees and at the maps of the United States, mathematically that works out to a whole lot of Bigfoot.
Getting to the bottom of that just got a whole lot weirder.
I looked at you and said, repeat that. You said, I've got to get to the bottom of that. And we have liftoff.
Check out what's coming up on today's episode.
Unless you're dumb.
It's almost like I got to get back to order. Well, why didn't you just keep the order in the first place?
Yeah.
If you're trying to get back to it, why did you let it go chaotic?
Because I got an infinite amount of the universes I got to tend to.
Yeah, he's like, we'll come back to you, Earth.
Earth 1.
They got it figured out. Eve didn't eat the apple on Earth 335.
Right.
Yeah, they got mixed up
Earth-
down the line somewhere.
Earth
We got to
42.
figure that one. The flood I introduced probably back in 2021. It's all right.
That's
Yeah.
crazy to think about. What you're saying.
It is crazy. I mean, it's kind of a weird thing to
Well, like you
travel down.
said, and like I said, I can't think on his level.
Yeah.
I can only do my little puny brain, and that's what I've just done. And it makes no sense.
It makes sense to me because I realize it doesn't make sense. I think that's the best way to describe it.
Hey guys, real quick before we start the show, wanted to let you know kind of how we do things around here, how we do the podcast. If you've ever wanted to make a podcast, we use Spotify. Spotify's got a platform that lets you make a podcast really, really easy. And then they let you distribute it everywhere and even earn some money if you want a little change, cha-ching in your pocket. And they do it all in one place. And it's for free. That's the exciting part. It's called Spotify for Podcasters. Here's how it works. They let you record and edit podcasts right from your phone or your computer. And then they'll let you distribute your podcast to Spotify and everywhere else podcasts are heard. And if you want to take your conversations to the next level, they have really cool features like Q&A and polls. And those are the things that really get people and your fans talking about things. So with Spotify for Podcasters, you can also earn money, including ads and podcast subscriptions. And the best of all, like I said, it's totally free with no catch. Ever since I've discovered it, I feel like the options of the Q&A and the video options and the polls has really let me take the creativity of my podcasting to another level. I highly recommend you give it a try. Download the Spotify for Podcasters app or go to www.spotify.com/podcasters to get started today. Dice Man Enterprises exclusively presents a talk show that will get to the bottom of things once and for all. And now here's your host for Let's Get to the Bottom of That, three weirdos on a mic.
Three weirdos on a mic.
Encarnacion.
Rip a hole in the sun.
I don't know. I just changed the intro music because this is just high energy. It just pumps me up.
It does pump me up.
So welcome into another edition of Let's Get to the Bottom of That. This is episode 52, the simulation theory.
Wow.
And I guess the getting to the bottom of this episode will be, are we living in a simulation?
Yeah.
Or, see, so what's the opposite of that? If we're not in a simulation, what is it?
Hell. This is hell.
I don't know, man.
Wait. You got to bleep that out because I can't. The last time I said hell, my kids
Well, hell,
got-
I'm okay with hell.
It's a place,
Because
man.
you're
That's what I
talking
told
about,
my
it's like
boys.
saying I'm going down to Price Chopper.
hell.
Yeah.
Yeah, or to Missouri. Arkansas.
How you guys doing?
I'm good, man.
It's been a week.
It's been a week since we've seen each other.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
crazy, dude.
Since our last episode.
Wow.
Man,
a lot has happened since then.
Coming up,
I got this tattoo.
very. Oh, do you? I do. What
On
if you have the
Monday.
tattoo that's on your hat? That would be cool.
Oh, yeah.
Whatever symbol that is.
It's Masons.
Oh,
That's
good.
Masons, yeah. He's a
I'm
lizard.
Telling you right now,
Yeah, he is Lucifer.
mother trucker's not real.
Oh, that was a great episode. How you broke that guy down in the back.
Maybe. I don't know. I don't even know if that was the guy. That's the thing.
Oh, wow. So we're getting fact checked.
I'm fact checking myself.
Well,
The lizards.
today, yeah. That was very strange. I'm glad you brought that to the show because I didn't hear that side of the story. So
that was a few minutes of rabbit holing, and there we go.
Well, that's what we do here on the show.
Yeah.
But today, this is gonna be a weird one. I'm gonna tell you up front. Because thinking about simulations, you always go to the Matrix and. Am I in a computer program right now? What's happening? Who's behind this?
Tron.
Yeah. So that would be a good one.
Yeah,
so if you get sucked into the game, that's a simulation.
Boom.
And you got to get out.
Such a good movie.
I know. Do you like the first one or the second one better?
Both are good.
I like the first. I like the second one because, of course, we had better graphics.
Yeah.
That's what it comes
and that disc throw. How about that game?
Oh, that was fun. We should actually make up that game in real life.
They should, like the floor just completely goes out from under you. Of course, there'll be a bed of nails under you.
Yeah.
No, nothing that drastic.
Okay.
Hey, what was that? What was that show? Kind of like that. It was Chinese. They were in the. It's kind of Hunger Game.
Chinesey? Oh, I know what you're saying.
Squid Game?
Yeah, the Squid Game. That's kind of like that, right?
No,
you haven't saw it?
I've never seen it.
Seen it? Did I say that
I've
right?
seen a few
Help us, Rachel
episodes,
Perry.
And
you've seen it?
I've seen a couple episodes.
Oh, okay. I watched
It's a little bit on the weirder side.
It's very strange. I mean,
but whatever, dude.
it's very Hunger Game-ish.
Yeah, it's a good way to say.
Hey, is it you told me that you very possibly could see The Purge coming? Like you've seen the movie The Purge.
I haven't seen that either. So
You haven't? That's kind of Hunger Game-ish too, right? The
you
Purge.
think The Purge is coming?
Well, I think that's something that somebody would try to pass.
I think that was Mike saying that.
I think in this day and age, as split as we are in a country, that would be a way to go. You know what? You guys fight amongst yourselves. Let's see what happens.
I don't think there'll be a purge. I think
of course, the elites will be protected.
Yeah, I think there's going to be more of a coming together.
You think?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Or something drastic.
Divided we stand.
I think something drastic to kind of separate us, and then we'll have somebody pull us and unite us together.
Yeah, and that'll be the Antichrist.
Yeah.
Thank you. Boom. That's another show, by the way.
Yeah.
Today
Dude,
we're talking about.
We still haven't done an episode on Epstein. We got to get this in.
We got so much.
Well,
stuff
he
to
was
talk
on
about.
the. He was very heavily talked about in the Pizzagate episode.
Yeah, but we need to talk about his island.
Epstein Island.
We need to go there.
And how many islands were there? I heard he owned several.
I don't know. Well, that's Bill Clinton.
Yeah,
we get him on the show.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Let's get one of the Clintons on here, dude.
Oh, dude.
And then the show would be ended because we'd all be dead.
Yeah. You three right here. I'm glad you got me on the show.
The body cam.
Yeah.
Well, she's done. Let's say Hillary's done with the podcast. She goes, now it's 57.
Oh, wow.
Now it's 57.
I would be.
And she'd be like, and nobody knows your names.
No.
I don't know, man. Wow. I believe it. I'm not suicidal, everybody.
Yeah,
Just
we've made that statement on this program
I'm saying it as
several
well.
times. Joey has never made it, so I'm thank you for bringing
Yep.
that up.
I am not suicidal.
He's not suicidal. None of us are.
I love my kids very much and my
Right.
wife.
And we're hoping to keep this. Oh, by the way, we are quickly coming up on a year, and I know we just hit a milestone of 50 episodes. We're coming up on a year since this podcast was published. September 28th was our first show published. We're coming up on a year, and we're going to have a blowout. I'm just going to let the listeners know. We're going to have, it's not going to be topic driven, but we are going to recap the entire year of episodes that we've done and kind of update everybody, and then just have a blowout. Maybe we'll have some special guests on or something. Maybe there'll be, somebody can give us a message from the phone. So we really appreciate these guys, and they made me feel better about myself.
Let's have all of our guests in here at one point.
We should.
And just talk over each other for an hour and a half straight.
Right.
Be
And
a great
argue.
episode. Yeah.
And just disagree with everyone.
That's what I'm talking about.
You know what I'm
man.
saying? That sounds like church.
Yeah. Let's
I'll tell you where I'm going to start on the simulation theory.
start
And this
it
is
off.
where it's, and you said we can get into weird stuff. I'm going to go ahead and put this out. And then Joey's got some more, what should I say?
Grounded.
Grounded actual mathematical equations to prove about what I'm saying. Now, if anybody knows anything about our show, David Icke has been talked about on this program. He has some very wild theories. We have actually talked. He was very huge when we did the lizard episode, because he's all about the lizard people, and it's a reptilian race that's here to do whatever to us. That was his theories. Well, also he has a theory on the simulation theory. No, it's not a lot, but it's something to think about, and maybe it will tie into some of your stuff, Joey.
Yeah, as I'm reading through, I think it's all going to.
So here's I'm just going to tell you what David Icke has concluded. He has concluded we are living in a simulation, Jason. So he checked out for a second.
No, yeah.
Where am I right now?
In a simulation.
Oh, that's right. I forgot.
He has concluded we're living, and that what we're in is an enormously advanced version of a virtual reality computer game.
Really?
That's
A computer game.
That's
So
what
like
you're.
Tron. So like Tron.
Yeah, that's what you're experiencing right here.
Yeah.
So the one that we are experiencing is this human world, and the limit at this level that we're on is the speed of light. That's our limit.
That's it.
That's our
As
limitation.
fast as you can go.
Yeah. Now the speed of light is not the fastest speed possible. Okay.
Yeah, talk
It's
to the Flash.
only the fastest speed in this level. So there is other speeds that are out there that we haven't seen because we haven't got out of this level yet. Okay.
Which is theory.
Right, right. So that's the speed at this level of reality in this simulation. Now, what we call the laws of physics are actually only rules encoded in this simulation. So everything we learn, science, physics, we're just learning the rules about the simulation that we're currently in.
Yeah.
That's why we're having to explore. We don't know what's going on. That's why when people leave this level of reality and what we call sometimes a near-death experience, they've described a place that they go to where the laws of physics do not apply to them.
Or like if that's a bad DMT trip. Or a
I
good
was
one.
thinking of that too,
Yeah.
because you said they went and saw the dude with the blue arm.
No, Joey did.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I
Talk
said.
about that. I don't think that's dropped yet, though. Well, that will. Actually, by the time we're talking about that, will
Yeah,
drop.
isn't it weird?
Man,
That's
time
why the
is weird.
simulation.
Time is
Time
weird.
This
is hard.
podcast is a simulation. Yeah, like the blue arm guy. It's like everybody went there and they actually got outside of this level by taking a drug that kind of upset the frequency that they're in right here.
Yeah.
Kind of makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So the speed of light is what David Icke explains as the processing speed of the computer that we're in.
Okay.
That's the processing speed. Okay, so as a computer, you can only do as much as the processor will allow you.
Yeah.
Y'all get
Sure.
that? Okay.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Now, the simulation has multiple levels. One is the experience we're living in right now. It's called the human life. This is our level right here. What we're experiencing. Everything you do, you go to work, you do your job, you go to church, you raise your kids, you're just doing things at this level.
Yeah.
Okay. The other one is what we call the spirit world. That's what we would call it because we're Christians, so we call it that. Now, this is another level that is actually still a controlled system. So once you leave this level and you go to the spirit world, you're still in a simulation. It's just a different level. You're still being controlled. Okay. Now, this is weird. Stay with me, folks. The simulation with it multiple levels is actually a frequency band. So it's actually frequency, and just like frequencies on a radio. If you ever went on the dial and you've bled over frequencies and they interfere with each other, that's what happens when the spirit realm and our level kind of collide with frequencies. That's what's going on there. It's like the glitch in the Matrix.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
And just like frequencies on a radio get close to each other, they interfere. I just said that. So if you're in this band of frequency right here where we're at, and you don't raise your own frequency to the point where you can leave the frequency or the simulation, you're not going to get out of here.
Right.
So you're just going to kind of like the people in the Matrix that don't want to leave. They're just going through the motion.
Right.
Like Morpheus said, they don't want to be unplugged.
Or loops.
Right.
Like things just looped on replay.
Yeah, I'm just doing. I don't unplug. Don't tell me about this. Why are you telling me about
Things looped
birds
on
that are
replay.
glitching and stuff like that? What are you saying? No, I want to live my. Okay.
Things looped on replay.
Yeah. So you're not going to get out. You're going to leave the body, but you're still going to be in the simulation on another level. So you have to reach a state of expanded awareness a perpetual awareness that generates a frequency high enough for you to pass outside the walls of the simulation. Well, who's behind this simulated control?
So are they saying that
David Icke believes it's demonic activities is what's in control of our simulation. Oh, he just got a call from David Icke.
David Icke's on the line.
Anyway, so raise your
Roof.
frequency high enough. How do we do that? I don't know.
Sorry, buddy.
How do we raise our frequency? I don't know. So you can
Money.
pass through the walls of the simulation. Did you say money?
Money.
Pay the elites? See, the elites are in cahoots with the demonic entities. That's why they have it better in this simulation. Or what we perceive to be better.
Yeah.
They don't have the same problem.
I'm trying to follow.
They don't have the same problems.
Okay.
They're not on the poor level. But the higher you get for elitism, that's why you have all these sacrifices. That's why you have the Illuminati. That's why people are drinking adrenochrome. They are actually in league with the demonic activity that's in control of the simulation.
That's interesting.
So that's David Icke's
David
conclusion.
Icke. Oh, that's his.
Yeah.
So he's saying it's led by a demonic
Entities.
entity.
Yeah. And we're
This-
stuck here.
This simulation is
Yeah.
controlled by Satan,
Right.
and we're stuck here.
Until we can raise our frequency level high enough to get out of here.
Until we or until Neo.
Yeah. Can break us free from the code.
The chosen
Because he has to
one.
go back to the
chosen
source.
Think about that.
Because he has he has to take his code and go back to the source.
I kind of like this theory.
Okay.
So
You following?
yeah, I'm just
My thing is based on what I just read from David Icke. Okay. So you can say what you want to about David Icke. He's a very interesting person. And he's written a lot of books. I don't know what to think about a simulation because I have to go back again, like our last episode. I have to have something to stand on, and my belief system happens to be currently the Word of God.
yeah.
So this theory doesn't fit in with that. Now, am I being played by the demonic entities to think, oh, this is what I believe, I'm going to stick with this?
Are you getting played?
And I'm not going to get out because I can't raise my frequency.
You're getting played like it's a video game, almost.
So here's how I envision this. I
Okay.
don't believe that Satan is in control of anything.
Hold on.
But I believe I believe that
Was that with Satan?
he is
He's a beta
probably
male.
trying to control it in every way, shape, or form. I mean, that's the whole deal. Like, I mean, I know we keep getting back into biblical stuff, but we're Christian.
Well, sure, because it goes back to, we live in a fallen world, a sinful world.
Yeah.
He was in control at that point
Yeah.
until Jesus came and stole the keys.
Yeah, and that's what it talks about in the book of Revelation is like the deed to the earth will be given back to the one. Like in the book of Revelation, when John's like, "Oh, who is worthy to do this?" And he's like, "There is one, is the Son of Man, to take this deed back from Satan, basically." But the simulation itself,
Yeah.
well, let me get into that. We'll get back to that. Okay.
Well, no, let me dovetail, not piggyback.
Yeah, let's dovetail.
Because here's what's interesting. What you just said made me think of what if, because if you read Revelation, that is a pretty, if you're not grounded, it's pretty weird.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff going on in Revelation. I mean, you're talking about the earth's destruction with fire.
Yeah.
Then there is a brand new earth that we're going to live on.
Yeah.
And the demonic entities are not going to be here and bother us anymore.
Yeah.
What if when he's phrasing it, we're in a simulation, because that one's going, what if the Bible and the word he gave us is just a code book for us to get back to plug into the source, so that when it does go down,
Yeah.
we're going to get on that new earth that he's talking about, or that new created earth.
Yeah. It's almost like
I just blew my own mind.
Let's talk in system of codes, right? there's a system reboot. Like let's The Matrix, right?
Yeah.
So the iconic film The Matrix, directed by the Wachowskis, which I think they're girls now.
They're sisters now. They used to be brothers.
Yeah, I mean,
Not sure how that was. Demonic entities.
yes, I mean, who knows, man? But basically the film is there's a simulation, yada yada yada. There's a chosen one that comes in and basically resets the simulation and blah da dee blah da do. So I feel like there's a lot of truth to that in the sense of there is this created order that God created heavens and the earth.
Mm-hmm.
It was created for a specific way. Everything operated in perfection, right?
Yeah.
What the devil did is he came in and he disrupted perfection. So he was basically, if you're talking in terms of like a virus, he was the virus. He went in there and started ruining the seed.
He was Agent Smith.
He was Agent Smith, bro. He went in there and started breaking down the order. And then since that point, everything has been just turning, like basically there's a virus in the system until it was redeemed by Jesus Christ, right? That's not even in my notes. It's just out of my
Yeah,
mind.
go ahead. Yeah. I'm tracking.
So I was kind of going to go down the route of, are we in a simulation? My thought process is absolutely we're in a simulation, but not in the sense of a computer module. A simulation
That David Icke just concluded
yes,
on. Okay.
I don't believe it's a computer module, but I do believe that there was a creator, and there is a ton of evidence to that, and that creator has set parameters for what we can
do and not do.
Yeah, he created the laws, everything. So, I mean, here's a couple ideas. So,
Hey, hold on a second before you go there.
Yep.
Because you just made me think of when we're talking about the Matrix and the virus. Let's go a little deeper, because the machine that was in the real world
Mhm.
was the enemy,
Yeah,
not the virus in the computer.
yeah,
And the machines were the ones that enslaved the human race,
right.
put them in pods,
Mm-hmm.
and gave them a simulation so that they could keep their brains stimulated,
Yeah,
so that they could use their energy.
Mm-hmm.
So that was the real enemy.
That was the real
And
enemy.
so you almost have a sub-level enemy, because the machine didn't want Agent Smith screwing up either. You
Right.
see what I'm saying? He was
Yeah.
just a program, which that movie is kind of weird anyway, because the machines, were they programs or were they AI?
It was AI.
You know what I'm saying? So AI has a program inside of a simulation that's going haywire, and they can't control them.
Yeah, I mean that's the whole idea of the movie is there was an Earth before. Man created AI. AI got out of hand. They tried to stop AI by blowing up the sun or blotting out the sun because they're solar powered. AI was like, that's stupid. We'll just use you guys as batteries.
Yeah.
That was the whole basis of the movie. And then them removing themselves out of that. I mean, it's all, like I said, there was a written, even in the movie, there was a written simulation, the Earth.
Right. That kept
Machines-
people
Yep.
as they were at a certain point in time.
No, I'm talking about before the machines even invaded.
Oh, okay.
The Earth itself is a simulation.
Oh, before
The
that.
universe is a simulation.
Okay.
And we know this. Let me just go into some ideas.
Okay, here we go.
All right, so not sure if we're in a simulation. Here's some food for thought. Okay, there are several scientific concepts and observations that suggest constraints or limitations within the world we live in. So David Icke talked on a couple of them. I'm going to go through all of them. The laws of physics, fundamental laws such as Newton's laws of motion, the laws of thermodynamics, and the theory of relativity impose constraints on the behavior of matter and the energy in the universe. Conservation laws, principles like conservation of energy and mass indicate that certain properties of the universe remain constant, setting constraints on physical processes. The speed of light he talked about. The speed of light in a vacuum approximately, that is 299,792,458 meters per second. Sets an upper limit on how fast information or objects can
fast.
travel, constraining the fabric of space-time itself. Heisenberg's uncertainty principle. The quantum physics concept states there's inherent uncertainty in measuring certain parts of the properties, such as position and momentum, which imposes limitations on our ability to precisely predict the behavior of subatomic particles. Entropy and second law of thermodynamics. The second law implies that natural processes tend to increase the overall entropy, disorder of a closed system, setting constraints on the direction of physical transformations. I mean, the list goes on and on. I mean, this to me proves, like everything that we have in science, there's a beginning and there's an end. There's a limit to how small we can go. There's a limit to how far we can go. There's a limit to how fast we can go. We cannot go any further, any smaller, any of those things. You gonna drop me some knowledge, bro?
No. Dutch is getting ready.
He was bringing that mic up close. I was like, oh shoot, here we go.
So the limits.
There's limits, man.
So the simulation is that's a good point. The laws of physics, all these laws that we have are the limitations. Almost like when you have a computer game, like let's say Ghost Recon.
Yeah,
there's limits in that game.
Yep.
Because you can't go outside of a certain place.
Right.
Yeah.
Like we're right here.
Yes.
So you can defy gravity by thrust.
Yeah.
You can what's the word? Manipulate the laws. You can manipulate one law to supersede the law, like the law of gravity. That's how planes fly. Thrust and speed.
I don't think it
lift.
manipulates.
Lift and thrust.
So that's not manipulating the law of gravity. Like if a plane wasn't imposing lift or thrust, it would fall to the ground.
Correct.
Every single time. The law of gravity is still there. I mean,
it's still there.
That's the point I'm making.
So what am I saying? A lift and thrust, is that a law? Or is that just something we're just using?
It's science. I mean, it's all in
science.
The constraints. It's all in the constraints of this world that we live in. Okay,
It's all part of the code.
it's all part.
It's
of the
code.
It's all part of the code.
Exactly.
Okay.
Dude. So, which you can look at that. David Icke has gone down the path of this is a computer module ran by Satan. I don't think so. I don't think so.
And we're stuck.
I think it's significantly deeper than that. You know, it's like God says that we were created in His image. Okay. So with that being said, like we're human.
Yeah, we have to
beings.
believe that, right? Yeah.
We have to believe that. So with that understanding is if we're created in God's image, we know that God is a God of order. You know, we have our physical, spiritual, mental realms, or 3 in 1, all those things. Reading scripture, we understand that God is a God in order. He's a God of process. I mean, read the Bible. You'll pick that up pretty quick. Hang on one second.
I'm looking at some of these movies you put down here.
Yeah.
Westworld?
Have you seen Westworld?
I have not. No.
Dude,
That's
you guys, if you
Pretty
want
good stuff.
to be mind blown,
Westworld.
that
It-
one's
it
that one's
will
a,
I know you've talked about it.
change your life.
that one's a simulation.
Yeah. A lot of
It's-
stuff.
But
There's so many layers to
you're
it.
putting reality into the simulation.
There's so many layers to it. So many layers.
There's multiple layers. And,
The
and
13th floor?
in
Was that
essence,
what? Wait, I'm trying to remember who was in that. Was that Malkovich?
I have no idea.
I don't
I haven't
know.
seen any of those.
Oh, you
movies.
just threw this in here.
I just tossed it.
I've
in
seen
there.
Black Mirror.
Yeah, I wanted to. I threw that
Oh
in
yeah,
there.
the
in case you guys
Callister.
have
That
seen
was
it.
a good one. Have you seen that one?
I haven't seen any of those.
Oh,
I've seen Ready Player One. I would love that. I would love to be able to go into a video game world, dude.
and just okay, yeah, okay.
Oh, bro, to be Batman.
I haven't
for a
seen
day.
this one either. 1964 of this
So
novel.
sweet.
Yeah, be Batman. Anyway,
Yeah, so like I said, these scientific principles and observations collectively illustrate that there are inherent constraints and boundaries to the physical and informational aspects of the world we live in, shaping our understanding of the universe. So there's that. That's, to me, who sets those?
who sets the order?
Who sets the order? Who sets the
Well,
constraints?
it has to be God, the Creator,
Maybe. I don't know. It's either, again, we're going back into the paradigm thing.
or
It's
what we perceive to be God as the book that's been given to us.
Yeah. This is, to me, this is evidence of a creator. Because you're telling me that evolution would create stops like this. If everything was just chaotic, there would be no end. There would be no beginning. There would just continue.
Yeah.
on.
How did the order come into place?
Exactly.
By accident.
This is proof for an intelligent creation in my eyes.
And that's what we were talking about last episode.
Yeah, exactly.
With great.
Yeah, last week.
Yeah.
Last week.
And
yeah.
or is it next week?
Yeah,
Depending on when this drops. I don't know.
Depends on if you're in the simulation or not.
Yeah.
This is relative. I don't know.
What's a good idea? Like, for instance, intelligent design says that this mixing board, somebody had the thought and they drew it on paper,
Yeah.
an idea. Hey, let's build a better mixing board. Let's put some buttons on here. Let's put some faders and some headphone knobs, and let's put a digital display. And then they took that and they went to the manufacturer or their company they work for. They said, hey, I think this would be a good idea to sell a product. And
Yeah.
then they went and either a 3D printer or wherever they make this metal thing and they put it together.
Yeah.
Somebody designed it. There was somebody behind it. It didn't fall on the ground and come together.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? And that's perfect proof of our universe as well and all the laws of physics.
Yeah.
That
and
stuff
let's-
didn't just pop and go together like that. Gravity just
it's
didn't come out of nowhere.
It's impossible. So here's a couple other things. The presence of life on a planet depends on a variety of constraints and conditions. Again, getting kind of more of a personal basis. So the Earth that we live on, the universe that we live on, life requires a stable and sufficient energy source.
Right. Okay.
We require a sun. This energy primarily comes from the sun, photosynthesis from deep sea hydrothermal vents, liquid water, chemical elements, a stable climate, atmosphere, protection from cosmic hazards, from meteors, time, you name it, chemical building blocks, geological activity, stable conditions, adaptivity, biosphere interactions. And the crazy thing about it is everything depends on each other to survive. Everything. If the plants...
To keep working, yeah.
Yeah, everything is a building block onto itself. Again, building. We need plants to survive. The animals need plants to survive. The plants need us to create carbon dioxide for them to eat, to water them. Everything. Everything is intertwined and interwoven into itself. So, again, there is a simulation. We're living in a simulation, but it was set by someone that's greater than all of us. What do you guys think?
Well, I probably have to get beyond the word or what I perceive the word to mean, simulation. Meaning I'm in a place that somebody created and it's not real and there's something else other than what I'm experiencing right now.
Yeah. You're talking about and still the sense of being in a computer module.
Right. Or, like somebody created this, I'm here and I had no choice over it. But this is the experience this is what I'm experiencing right now is this human experience.
Yeah.
And there's something outside of this that's more real than what I'm experiencing right now. And the simulation indicates that somebody designed it and put it together so that I could function in it.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't have any control.
Yeah.
That I don't know if that's the right definition I should come from, because what you've just described is a creator that created all of this stuff that functions together in order, and that's the simulation.
Yeah.
But is that real?
Is the simulation real?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's our reality?
It's because it's our reality. Absolutely. And there's more there.
What is real?
The thing about, like I said earlier, we're three
That's
in
a
one.
deep topic.
You know what I mean?
What?
You talked about this. David Icke talks about the spiritual realm.
Yeah.
You talked about
That was another
earlier
level.
of people when they go on to the next thing, they're outside of the simulation, and
Right.
these sort of things. This.
Well, Eastern religions believe in reincarnation.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and they believe they have to be reincarnated because they have to keep going through and learning lessons over and over again until they get to a period of enlightenment.
Yeah.
And once they have that enlightenment, they can move on to the next level. They won't keep going in this and which is kind of strange. It's like, okay, I'm supposed to be back into the simulation and learn from things that I messed up on before, but I can't remember. I'm not supposed to remember what I did. That's kind of bonkers.
Yeah.
How am I going to remember? So I'm going to keep making the same mistakes, right? Or, so that's what Eastern religions believe, reincarnation. So you're always getting back into the simulation because you got to get to this point of enlightenment where you can get out of the simulation. But I don't believe that.
Yeah. Like I said, I don't think it's a simulation in the extent of it's a computer module.
You think it's so no computer module, no code, but a simulation in what?
In that everything, all of our restraints are created by an intelligent individual.
Okay, I believe. Well, why can't that just be real instead of a simulation?
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's like whether you're looking at this is the point of this. I wanted to start.
That's why I was saying you gotta. What's my definition of that? 'Cause
yeah.
When I say the word, I immediately go to the computer.
Let's
and
take
the virtual reality.
Let's take. I don't want to say this, but like let's take the biblical worldview out of it.
Okay.
Let's take all of this science that we look at, the starts and stops, the breakdown of an atom, the genetic code, the DNA, all of these things. Let's remove the biblical worldview out of it. Okay. You can look at that and see that these things are designed. So yes, it would imply that we are in a simulation. Just like a computer code, DNA is laid out like a computer code. And it's the fabric of everything. Everything has DNA. Human beings, plants, everything. Ones and zeros, dude. Basically. I mean, obviously it's a little bit different.
Binary,
dude. So with that being said, everything uses this biocode. There are rules to the code, the DNA. So it's like, obviously we can't have sex with plants. We're not going to be able to create a tree.
I bet some have tried.
We're not.
And when you try to break the code, what happens?
Death, decay.
Jason, I need to.
What happened?
I haven't heard of Jason one time in this show.
No, I've just been.
He's like taking it
wild.
all. I thought you jump in on the sex plants.
Yeah, I that was my olive tree for you. Let's say hop on the sex.
I don't.
You're taking all this in, right?
I'm taking all.
You see
in.
where I'm coming? So I see what you're saying. Go ahead,
Yeah.
break the code. We took out the Bible.
This for me is like the flat Earth podcast episode. I'm just.
Question.
You're just here.
I'm just here. The simulation theory. I don't know, man. I think it could be either two ways. Either we are, and there isn't, and it is in some kind of giant computer.
Yeah.
Right. And or it's just I don't know.
Yeah. Let's go from the stance that it is a giant computer. Let's just stick with that. So with that being said, with it being a giant computer, this is all factual to that. Okay. There's restraints.
You mean all the order and the limits? Okay.
Yeah, there's limits. There's
same thing.
Same thing.
Okay.
DNA, everything uses biocodes. There's rules to these codes. I mean, condons and amino acids.
Condos.
I'll explain DNA what this is. Each triplet of gondon and DNA.
What?
Or codon. There's
Where?
no N.
Where?
There are rules to these codes right there.
Oh, there
DNA.
it is.
Yeah. How do you say that?
Condons.
No, that's
I thought it was
codons.
condoms.
Codon. CODON.
Sex with plants.
And DNA corresponds to specific amino acids start and stop signal. Again,
Wow.
proving down to the genetic code, there's a beginning, there's an end.
Dude.
Amino acids are the building blocks of proteins, protein synthesis. I can't talk today. My goodness.
Where's Rachel?
Yeah.
I need some.
We need
some more
Rachel
coffee.
in here.
I think it's because I drank 32 ounces of coffee and my brain's probably just going cross-eyed.
You just broke the code.
He's glitching.
I'm glitching.
Yeah, that's DNA blocks.
Yeah.
The DNA.
Yeah, roadblocks.
mRNA.
Oh,
You guys
the
know.
shot.
You guys know a little bit about that, dude. There's some little, that's the genetic breakdown of human beings, and weirdly enough, they're trying to alter that. They're trying to alter the code in the system.
Oh, you're right.
That's a side trap. That's a little side.
Let's just be
Oh,
honest. If
oh, you're
they could
right.
genetically mutate you so you could fly with bird wings, would you do it? I would.
Wait a minute. You actually literally had bird wings like an angel?
Yeah, dude. Would I? Yeah,
Well, that would be-
absolutely.
I don't know.
That would be. You could get to, you could get traffic wouldn't be a problem.
Yeah,
but
no.
what if everybody was flying? You running into people.
That's
It's
true.
a big. It's
Too
a
much
big,
air traffic.
You run it, yeah.
We need.
Could
people
you
out there
see
with
that?
phones.
And then everybody like, wow, I missed the days we had cars.
Yeah, when I could just walk to the store, now I got to flap these wings the entire way. What a sham. People, that's how people are.
You broke the code.
You get bored of stuff quickly, dude. That's what the birds are doing up in the sky. They're looking down at us walking. That's why they stop.
Is
in
that what the
midair.
glitch?
Yeah, that's why
Yeah,
they
they're
stop
like,
in midair.
okay, I'm done.
Whatever that feels like.
They're like,
Stay
"Man,
up there.
I wish I could walk. This flying stuff sucks.
Oh, birds. Birds aren't real.
So
That's another
Another-
example of birds
they're-
aren't real. Change my mind.
The simulation.
Yeah. Anyway, you see, I mean, it keeps going on. The genetic code's universal among all living organisms, and one of the fundamental concepts in molecular biology. It's similar to how a computer program is written in a specific code, and when executed, it performs specific functions. Right? Where else do we see code or evidence of a design?
Where?
Or simulation.
Where?
So here's some mathematic code
Oh boy.
in nature, right? It's all you math people out
Oh boy. Here we go.
Hey, listen, we're getting. One of my buddies is pretty smart at math, so he gets really pumped.
How do you
about
say
this
that word?
Fibo-
Fabonica.
Fibonacci.
Woo! It's Italian.
At the Fibonacci sequence.
Fibonacci sequence.
So the Fibonacci sequence is a numerical pattern where each number is the sum of two preceding ones. E.G 0, 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13, 21, and so on. Blah 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 blah.
My brain hurts.
The sequence is frequently observed in the arrangements of leaves, petals, and seeds in plants. For instance,
Really?
sunflowers often have spirals of seeds that follow Fibonacci patterns.
Aren't you Italian?
Huh.
You're Italian.
Yeah,
Your last
Yeah.
name's Italian.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, dude. That's why I let off with that one because
Yeah.
it's the best.
Yeah.
Okay.
The golden ratio. The golden ratio, approximately 1.61803398887, is a mathematical constant often represented by the Greek letter phi.
Huh.
Ah.
Okay.
It is associated with a particular proportion found
What
in
is that?
nature and art. The ratio is believed to create aesthetically pleasing and harmonious compositions. It can be seen in the spiral patterns of seashells and the branching of trees. Mathematical equations,
Okay.
bro.
The golden ratio.
Math. It
Okay.
works.
Fractal geometry. Fractals are complex geometrical shapes and they exhibit self-similarity at different scales. They can be found in natural phenomena such as coastlines, mountain ranges, and cloud formations. The Mandelbrot is a
What?
famous example of mathematical fractal. What?
I was just saying. I thought those were random
Nope.
cloud formations.
It's basically, yeah, I mean sometimes
That's
I'm sure they are,
crazy.
but there is, that's what I'm saying, man. Like there are similarities everywhere you look.
Everything's math.
Everything is math. Things will reappear. I mean, everything. Like I said, taking God out of it.
So
There's-
just what we're talking about. These codes. This is almost proving that this is the simulation because of these things evident in the experience that we're living right now.
Yeah, everything is ones and zeros, bro. Everything is built off of a code, intertwined with another code. I mean, it just piles on itself. So, I mean, here's more. Symmetrical patterns are prevalent in nature. They often adhere to mathematical principles. Example, the bilateral symmetry of many animals, such as butterflies and humans, follow geometric principles. Pascal's triangle is a mathematical array of numbers where each number is the sum of two numbers directly above it. It appears in various mathematical and natural concepts, such as the study of probability and the distribution of binomial coefficients.
What? Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hexagonal
Oh, the
packing.
hexagon.
Honeycomb cells constructed by bees. Hexagonal
Yes.
pattern. This hexagonal packing is mathematically efficient way to maximize space.
Why
with
do they do
minimal-
that?
Math, buddy.
That's crazy. And
You
then
think-
how do the
you thi-
bees know?
You think bees are crunching numbers in
They're
there, dude?
how do they know that?
Coded.
They know that that's the most efficient way
Yeah.
down to their DNA code.
Mm-hmm.
That's how they evolved, evolution.
Yeah, exactly. Right. They just knew.
It was random.
Somehow they're like, this is the best way to build.
No, one big bee went, hey, Bill, what do you think? What should I do?
Wait a minute.
Put it in an hexagon.
Wait, is that a square?
No.
That's not going to work.
Do it this way. All right.
Yeah.
Hey, what about a circle?
Well, I don't know. I mean, try to make that make sense in your brain. For real. How would a bee come onto that information?
It's got to be good at math.
Shit.
I don't know, man. I think
That's crazy.
Yeah, I think no, everything is numbers and math, and yeah, it has to be an intelligent designer behind it all, because it's just math just wasn't not there, you know.
Yeah, and it's found everywhere. It's like math is always one of the things my buddy says is like math has always been here. We just discovered it.
Right. Just like electricity.
Math is math.
Just like
Just like everything.
yeah.
He kind of went down a dark path, and I think he started worshiping math for a little bit. But
What?
He's like, no, dude.
The number like on Sesame Street.
Yeah.
The number 5. Oh, hail 5.
I mean, dude, think
They
about
said
it, dude.
that?
no, I'm just
But they were like worshiping it?
no.
That's crazy.
I'm just kidding.
He went down a dark path?
It was a dark path, man. I
You
mean,
just see him
Did he get brought back?
he
in
got
his
brought
basement
back.
just
He's back.
solving equations?
Yeah, you
I
see
gotta
all.
get
You can see all like that dude with the. You can see,
Yeah, I envision like numbers on the wall, like scribbles everywhere. And I'm like,
What was
dude,
that movie?
I'm like, dude, what's going
a
on?
perfect mind,
A
beautiful
Beautiful
mind.
Yeah, that's how I envisioned when he told me that. I was like, dude, wow, I'm not even remotely close to being smart enough to get lost in numbers like
Yeah,
that.
that's
but
how I am with
Maybe
Funyuns.
that's
I just
how
see Funyuns.
Funyuns-
I was like, oh, that's a Funyun. That's a
Did you
shit
bring
like a
some
Funyun.
today?
funny, 23,
No, I didn't.
23, 20.
That's
Yeah.
funny. It's like he's trying to crack the code to get out of the simulation.
He's trying to, bro. He was trying to get out of the simulation. But what he found was, the big deals, chaos theory. Everything happens. The chaos. What is he explained it to me one time? I'm probably
Oh, chaos theory is a great
Chaos
name.
theory is basically the thought process that in chaos there's going to be a probability of patterns that are arising, basically. So people that don't go from a creationist standpoint would say that these patterns that we're seeing are the result of just utter chaos. We're going to see patterns like this.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
The patterns are chaos?
Every pattern that I just listed happened just out of pure chaos.
No,
That's the theory, bro. Make that make sense.
that's not true though.
What, chaos theory?
No, I don't believe all that was just out of random.
Well, that's what I'm saying, man.
There's
how
no way. A
That's-
bee knew that the hexagon was, and that's randomly happened.
Well, I mean, when we're talking about old Earth, man, billions of years, at some point, the bees just started making hexagons, and then at some point, they were like, this is the best, let's continue. An unintelligent,
And they just stumbled across it.
yeah, that's chaos.
Nah,
That's
I
the
don't
way it
believe
works.
No, I think that bee said, hey, Bill,
Yeah.
this is how we're going to do it from now.
Yeah,
What
exactly.
do you think of these circles?
That was after
Oh,
they had
good.
sex with the queen and
What?
their genitals exploded, too. So
That does happen.
Wow.
that's how the bees do it, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Could you imagine? their
Wow, the
life?
worker bees. Whew.
Just one and done.
The drones.
If that's not efficient, I don't know what is.
It is pretty efficient.
So those creatures were able to figure
Dude,
out
what if we
And
did that?
hexagonal
We'd
pattern.
get put in jail
if our
as inhumane.
if our genitals exploded.
Yeah, no. we try to do. Yeah,
I'm
that's
so lost. What are you talking
What's
about?
going on?
I'm sorry. What if we try to do it the bees way? As
that's
humans.
funny.
Make houses that are hexagons?
Yeah, make it efficient. Even make procreation efficient.
And then blow up? I don't want to blow up.
I don't know, man. I mean, that would be the way to go for sure. But there's a couple more. I mean, crystals, we'll just read through these real quick, often exhibit precise geometric patterns based on the array of atoms and molecules. These patterns can be described using mathematical principles of symmetry and geometry, waveforms and harmonics. The mathematics of waveforms and harmonics play a crucial role in understanding sound, music, and the behavior of electromagnetic waves in the natural world. So that goes a little bit to your frequency thing there.
It's a band of frequency.
There's a cave in Mexico that was recently discovered.
Why
that
are
has
you
four-
always talking about gays?
Because I'm fascinated with caves.
Okay.
That it's these crystals, and
Okay.
there is an eerie hum throughout the whole cave from these formation of crystals.
Just generating out.
Always.
Really?
Always.
Yeah, dude.
Always. Just and you feel it through your body.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy,
yeah.
dude. It is crazy, man. So I don't know, man. Like, it's back to that's just me, like, just bringing it full circle at the end there. We can just kind of talk off each other for a little bit. So basically, like, the simulation itself, you know, from a computer module, if you're looking at all this information, it's obvious that there is, I mean, with this many similarities, with this many numbers and coding and everything building off of each other, removing God out of it, there's obviously signs of some sort of intelligent simulation creator, whatever you want to call it, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's just, after I learned all this, yeah, there's no doubt. We're in some sort of simulation. But like I said, I don't hold that view. I believe that God is the creator, and he created this world because he is a God of order. And he's a God of design, and everything was intricately built and placed because that's who he is. So,
and that's the way he wanted it.
That's the way he wanted it. And then you introduce someone like the serpent, and he tried to basically admit chaos into God's order. And we've spent the last 10,000 years, you know, trying to fix that.
Being affected by it.
And that's why he has to create another heaven and another earth, you know. It's like we've got to go back to the original order, because
we have to go back. So we have to go back to the original simulation, the way it was designed.
The way it was designed, and everything.
How do we know it's not going to go wrong again, though?
I guess there's no way of telling, because I mean, I guess that's the thing. You have to have something to stand on. His word tells us that it'll be without sin, and that's what we go off of, dude.
Right. So,
but it's obvious. Sorry to cut you off.
No. Go ahead.
It's obvious that, like, we're going from a position of order to disorder. Like, the genetic code, my buddy was telling me this, I wish we could have got him on the show, but it is constantly mutating down from the creation of the beginning. So, like, everything is slowly getting worse and worse.
Oh,
and
gotcha.
Worse. I think he was telling me that the speed of light, actually, they've noticed even since we've started measuring, has been slowing down itself.
Oh my God.
What? I thought that was set.
Well, that's
Infinite.
what I'm saying. It's pursuing chaos. Some of the order is becoming disordered until obviously his return, and it's set right. So scroll up a little bit, and I'll read this last little bit.
Oh, okay. The God particle.
I'll close my notes with this.
Come on up, Tim. Well, where am I going? Because this is the end of the hexagon right here.
Yeah, I already read that. So,
where do you mean to go?
To the bottom where it says Corinthians.
Let's get to the bottom. Come on.
Yeah.
What's
Let's
going
get
I
to the
love
bottom
a
of
good
this.
Corinthian leather.
Let's get to the bottom of this, dude. So, you guys know what a atom looks like, or a nucleus?
You mean Adam and Eve?
I got a friend named Adam.
ATO.
Oh, Atom
Oh.
Smasher.
Yeah.
Right. It's got that. It's got a little ball and it's got the little lines going around it. Yeah.
Yeah. So
That
it's made
thing.
up of mostly empty space, right?
Oh wow.
So the
Like my
question
head.
that scientists have been trying to figure out since the beginning of time is since they figured out the atom, was like, what's keeping them all together? So there's some sort of mass that is keeping one atom connected to another atom connected to, because we're made up of mostly empty space according to science, right? Everyone knows that. Atoms, molecules, blah, blah, blah,
That's
blah,
so
blah.
weird.
Yes. What keeps that all together? So I got this scripture. It says, it's Corinthians 14:33. This is NIV.
Yeah.
For God is not a God of disorder, but of peace in the congregations of the Lord's people.
Amen.
And Colossians, can't even speak.
Let's go.
1:17.
Colloquial people.
Colossians. Man, we need some help on the show.
How do you say it?
Colossians.
That's a good one.
Listen, and thus saith the Lord.
Thus saith Rachel, who just whispered how to pronounce it
She's
correctly.
like, sir, what are you doing? Anyway,
Colossians.
this is the important takeaway.
Okay.
He is before all things, and in him all things hold together.
Hold together.
Right? So back in 2012, they did this huge thing where they were trying to find the existence of a term. They called it the God particle.
Okay.
Right? But I think the scientific names is the HLGG's bosom.
What?
HLGGS bosom. It's in the one in parentheses. How would you guys read that one down there at the bottom?
Hagram Brossum.
That's
Hill's bosom.
I'd say bosom.
Bosom.
Yeah.
So anyway, the term God particle is subatomic particle. The God particle is discovered in experiments at the CERN. You remember those guys, dude? They're into some weird stuff.
CERN.
European Organization of Nuclear Research in 2012. It's an essential part of the standard model of particle physics, which describes the fundamental particles and forces that make up the universe. The nickname the God particle was coined by Nobel laureate physicist Leon Lederman in his book, The God Particle. If the universe is the answer, what's the question? The God particle, i.e. the Higgs boson, is a significant particle in physics because it helps explain why other particles have mass, keeping it together. It does this by interacting with other particles, giving them mass. In a sense, the Higgs boson is responsible for the existence of mass in the universe. It's literally what holds the universe together. And that's the end of my nose.
Interesting.
Yeah. Everything is order.
Everything is awesome.
Yeah. That's my notes, bro. You have anything to add, bro?
I'm just my brain. I'm just sitting here thinking about how strange and how God's outside of time and how he created all of, down to the atom and the it's incredible.
Yeah.
How that, my mind I can't even wrap my mind around it. How he keeps, how do we even discover the atom? That's just so weird.
It is, man. That's what I'm saying, dude. And I feel like for this specifically, like people always be like, oh, I need evidence of God, or I need evidence of a creator. It's
Look
like,
around, bro.
Yeah, man. Like I just gave like 15, dude.
There's so many.
There is an intelligent designer.
Yeah, there's so many. Now, as far as the simulation, like I said earlier, it's all about where my mind goes when I say the word simulation.
Yeah.
So, and the way you've described it and the way the math and the parameters and the limits, I could see where that could be
interpreted.
Interpreted as a simulation because according to what we believe in Scripture, God is from the kingdom of heaven, which is a different place, not in this simulation.
Yeah.
It's outside
He
of
created
space
the
and
heavens
time.
and the earth, and
It's outside of space and time.
Separates
So there
them.
is another place. So to create this and all these parameters and limits in this space, I could see where that would be. Yeah, I'm living in a simulation that he created, and we can't see outside of space and time until we leave the simulation, which would be, to me, leave this body. Because this body is the only way that you can exist on this earth. You as a spirit being. If we are created in the image of God, a spirit being inside this shell this earth suit is the only way we can be here. Because if we're not here, where are we?
We're with God.
We're outside of the simulation, and we've reconnected back to the source code.
Yeah.
Now, what that looks like, I have no idea.
That's the beautiful thing about it, man. So I don't know. Hopefully, we shed some light on like I said.
I don't believe we're in a computer module. No, I don't.
Me neither. But there is, like I said, there's evidence of constraints. There's evidence in science. There's
evidence that shows that everything you explain with the constraints, the limits, is exactly how a computer simulation
would work.
Is created and does work.
But I believe that the computers, like what our knowledge of computers and the way that the world works, all came from, we're a representation of God. Everything down to what we see is normal patterns. We don't have the abilities to create, so
right.
we're copying what we see.
And we only have the resources that are in this simulation to do whatever, like creating this microphone, this mixer, this computer screen.
Yeah.
And we're using these, and we got these things from the resources of this planet.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how, we are we can't create, but we are following that our Father's footprint.
Exactly.
Or his footsteps, not his footprint.
Exactly.
Footprints in the sand.
Tomato,
Who was
tomato.
holding me? There was 3 people there. I don't know.
Tomato.
Yeah. But yeah, the
great-
simulate.
It's a great
Here's what's weird is like every human that's born into an Earth suit, you can only view this experience through these eyes.
Mm-hmm.
And so I can see everything in this through these eyes. I can't see behind me. I don't know if that makes sense. My mind is, I can't see behind. I can't step back and peer into another place.
I'll get you a
Yeah.
mirror.
You know what? No, what?
I know
The
what
black-
you're saying though. I've heard that before.
You know, I can't get back behind what's behind me.
Yeah.
I don't know if that makes sense.
I'll
My-
get you a mirror if you want to look behind you.
well, that's the black mirror. I don't want to look at
Okay.
that. You know what I'm saying though? It's
you
like
can't
that's
you can't see into your soul. You can't see.
I
into your
can't see
brain.
I can't. I'm only stuck here until I leave this Earth suit, and then that's the only way that we're gonna see what's behind me is when I leave here.
Unless you do DMT.
Oh,
Yeah. Then you get
Yeah.
but hey,
types of
well,
things.
that's a great point. Do you actually physically see it with your eyes, or are you unconscious?
I have no idea.
when you do the
and I'm not
DMT.
promoting you should do it, anybody. But
Yeah.
Well, surely not. I don't want to meet the blue arm guy.
I could be a good guy. You know.
Well, he could. Some said he was right.
Yeah. And who knows what human beings were like before the fall? You know what I mean? Like I'm under the belief that, and I don't really, other than just reading scripture and stuff. I mean, I'm under the belief that that understanding, like what you're talking about, where you can only see what's ahead of you, was different before the
You
fall.
think?
I think once that revelation happened between the knowledge of good and evil,
They fell into themselves.
yeah, are basically we were made in God's image, where God exists 3 in 1, right? The Spirit, the Son, the Father. We were created in His image. We were created the exact same way, where all those things intertwine. And once that happened, we were separated from that. That's why, like Scripture, it says that like our flesh and our spirit are always at war. You know what I mean? Because they're separated. And I think the goal is to obviously all come back together in our new bodies and our new earth. We're going back to that original order,
Original plan.
which happens in heaven. That's why we're given that, so that that endless war, the war between our flesh and our spirit, is eradicated, and we're with Him.
Yeah, and that's another. I guess that's another story of the whole thing. The whole thing that was set up.
Mhm.
If it was, okay, let's just set the whole simulation up.
Right.
Okay, and I know this is going to wreck some people's faith. Okay, y'all ready?
Let's hear it.
Let's just. I'm setting up this simulation, and of course, I'm not the infinite God. I'm the finite human thinking this with my finite little puny brain. Okay,
Right.
so there's no way I can think on that level. But what I can think is, okay, I set up this simulation. I'm gonna create 2 humans inside of space and time. I exist outside of space and time. I'm gonna put them in here. There's this dude that does a coup d'etat with all my angels.
Yeah.
And what do I do with him? I put him down here with my humans. Oh, hope he won't mess that up. Oh, but I'm supposed to already know because I'm omnipotent. Oh, I know that's going to happen. So I already knew that I was going to do that.
Yeah.
Then if I knew I was going to do that, why did I do that? Why didn't I stop myself from putting the enemy down there with my little creation? Oh, I need to sacrifice my son because this whole thing's going to go haywire. And I already saw that in the future.
Yeah.
See, I can't even think. I can't think on that level.
Yeah.
But that's the only level I can think on.
Yeah.
Well,
Is why
let's think about that.
Why did you do that if you knew it was going to happen?
So
That's when I go into.
That's when you go to sleep.
No, that's when I tend to think that in the multiverse.
Okay.
Like there's been numerous attempts in what you should call the simulation or reality.
Yeah.
In my opinion, I think there's been numerous attempts. I think
Numerous?
I think there's been numerous attempts of humanity.
Really?
Yeah, and that's what I think.
Oh, that's a wild concept.
Yeah.
Numerous. So we got the creator. So what happened with the other attempts?
I don't know.
they just didn't work out.
Maybe they didn't.
So
we only know, like you said,
What's in front of us?
What's in front of us?
right.
That's true.
So are you going to address that?
Yeah, I mean, a little bit.
Why do we put that, and why do we put the tree here? Don't touch that tree. You can touch that tree.
Yeah,
But I know you're going to touch it. Huh?
Yeah, I mean, I think that speaks a lot because I've thought about that a lot. I mean, that speaks
Right.
a lot. To
It's
like,
mind-boggling.
so we have a God who is a God of order, right? We have
Okay.
a God that can control everything because that's who he is.
Okay.
But then we also have a God that made us as human beings, even though he knew, I mean, what does that speak to who he is as a person? He knew that we were going to mess up, but he still created us and loved us. You know what I mean? Same thing with his angels. He knew, I mean, was a God in order that he would mess up.
He knew that.
He knew that. He had to have known that.
That doesn't sound
Wait,
like order.
Say that again.
That doesn't
He
sound
knew
like order.
what he knew.
He knew
that
Lucifer was going to rebel.
Yeah, he had to have. He's a God of knowledge. But the question of, so this obviously where we get into like the question of free will and stuff like that is with free will, he gave us the opportunity to mess up. Same thing with Lucifer. Gave him the opportunity to mess up. Even though he could create us to be like numbers and zeros where everything has to line up perfectly and everything has to go perfectly, blah, 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 blah. He gave us that opportunity. He gave them that opportunity. And then just even more specifically with the fall and Lucifer getting thrown out of heaven, he comes to earth. God already knows that his creation, quote unquote, us,
Yeah.
there's an angel come to earth. He already knew at that point that we were going to be the ones to defeat Satan by the will of our testimony. Think about that, dude. How big of a slap in the face is that to the devil? Like, oh, you want to be like me? Well, let me defeat you with my creation. And they have free will. You know what I mean? So another way to think about it.
Okay, so maybe it's like I created Lucifer. I know he's going to do these things, but he doesn't know the end. But I know I know all these things are going to happen, and I'm going to slap him in the face with my creation.
Now, I don't,
the bottom
again,
line.
and I don't think, so C.S. Lewis talks about this. So we as human beings, we think about things very linearly because that's the way our brains work.
That's what I was saying.
We think
I can't
about
even,
things.
I can't even think on
we
God's
think
level.
about like if this and then this, if
Right.
that and then
Yeah.
that. So God this, God that,
Right.
But ultimately, God is. I mean, obviously, there's no scriptural evidence for this, but God is obviously outside of time. He's a fifth dimensional. I mean, 10th dimensional, whatever you want to say.
Yeah.
So everything is laid out in front of him simultaneously. So there's an infinite number of possibilities, especially given something that is free will, that him being who he is, and it's open in front of him at all times. So yes, the best way that I understand it is, let me give this free will. It's kind of like we'll go movie reference on this. We'll go Doctor Strange, right?
Yeah, I've thought about that too.
Doctor Strange sitting there and he's like, blah, 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 freaking out, and then like
1.4 million.
yeah, there's 1.4 million outcomes. There's only one that works.
Yeah.
Right.
And he's seen all of them.
He saw all of them.
Yeah.
Let's put that into God's perspective here. There's
I have thought
1.4
about it like that,
billion
yeah.
things that could have happened with humanity, but I'm giving them free will because I love them, and I want them to be like me, like we're the little G's, you know what I mean? Like we have the capabilities to understand these things and to create and to grow and all these things. I think that speaks volumes to who he is. Because yes, with the simulation, with the understanding of creation, which all these things, like he can start, he's the Alpha, he's the Omega, he's the beginning, he's the end, he's the all-powerful knowing God. But the fact that he allows us to be our own little gods says a lot to him, dude.
Okay, so to dovetail on that.
Dovetail it, bro. Piggyback
So
it.
here's what I gathered from what you just said. God knows every possible decision that can be made, but he doesn't know which one you're going to make.
I think he knows which one you want. Like that's again, you're thinking of it like he doesn't know this, but he knows.
He knows all of the possibilities.
All at once, simultaneously.
Like if that happened, that would happen. He knows if that happened, that would happen.
Yeah, but he gave us the free will to decide.
And we're the only ones that know what really happened because we made that decision.
Mm-hmm.
And he already knew that was going to happen.
Yeah, I mean the object of free will is like. The object of free is like, whoa, let's get cross-eyed real quick. Dude. But it's an interesting topic.
It is really because if you think about it, if he knew from the beginning to the end.
You see, you're still doing it, beginning to the end.
I
You
have to.
yeah.
He said I'm the beginning and the end. I'm just quoting scripture. Don't hate me.
But wait, the beginning, that's
I'm the Alpha and Omega.
Right. But he did that for you to understand time, beginning and end. He's not saying that there's a beginning to him and there's an end to him. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's
Right.
He's always
I know
It's-
that.
yeah.
What I was saying was because we see the book of Revelation,
Yeah.
we see the end, and it's almost like what you said earlier. We will finally get back to
the
order
Yeah.
that was chaos. Well,
In this multiverse.
he knew there was going to be. It's almost like I got to get back to order. Well, why didn't you just keep the order in the first place?
Yeah.
If you're trying to get back to it, why'd you let it go chaotic?
Because I got an infinite amount of the universes I got to tend to.
Yeah, he's like, we'll come back to you, Earth.
Earth 1.
They got it figured out. Eve didn't eat the apple on Earth
Right.
335.
Yeah, they got mixed up
Earth-
down the line somewhere.
Earth
We got to figure
42.
that one. The flood I introduced probably back in 2021. It's all right.
That's
Yeah.
crazy to think about what you're saying.
It is crazy. I mean, it's kind of a weird thing to
Well, like you
travel
said, and like I said, I can't think on his level.
down.
I can only do my little puny brain, and that's what I've just done, and it makes no sense.
It makes sense to me because I realize it doesn't make sense. That's I think that's the best way to describe it, because it's so difficult to understand the world out of the social construct, out of the simulation that we're in. It's difficult to even
It is.
fathom. It's like trying to invent a color. You can't do it.
Well, I think once we realize that
Merple.
this is a simulation,
There we go. Jason did it.
we can
Mud and
manipulate the
purple.
code to our own benefit.
Yeah, we can try.
We can hack the code.
We can get out of it. And I feel
Well,
like
I mean, one day we are.
And I feel like going back to the Matrix reference, being a believer, we believe we can break the code. One of the codes of chaotic is sickness and health, and we believe that through Jesus Christ we can heal, we can resurrect, we can break the code, man.
Yeah, and he
In his
showed us
name.
how.
He showed us how by living with Him.
All right, guys, that's the simulation theory. Thank you so much for tuning in this week. Make sure you visit our website, bottomofthat.com. Check out our blog for all our show notes and resource material. Also, there's a big blue button you can click, support the show, and you can give as little as 99 cents to $1,000 if you want to. If you want to. I don't know. If you're listening on YouTube, Rumble, and BitChute, and you like this episode, please give us a like, share, subscribe, leave a comment. And if you're on any other podcasting platform such as Spotify, make sure you follow, turn on notifications so you never miss an episode when we publish every Friday at 9 a.m. We'll always be here at 9 a.m. If you did not like this episode, I thank you for listening this long. And tune in next week when you might hear Jason scream out and say,
Name this quote. I'm an agent of chaos, and the one thing about chaos, it's fair.
oh, that's Agent Smith.
No.
Oh.